Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to another video in this mini-series, Introduction to the BeeGraphy platform. In this video, what I would like to show you is how to go from a parametric model that you have created in the BeeGraphy editor, and then how to take whatever geometry you have created here and export it, download it, and publish it into this kind of very clean UI that can be customized for anyone who doesn't have the parametric expertise that you may have, to just go in and change a couple things here and then be able to now say, oh, this is the model that I like, very nice, can I download it? Here, just download the boxes and boom, I'm going to download my STL, and now I have my model downloaded in for some kind of other platform to 3D print, to visualize, to render, whatever that looks like for you. All right, it's extremely easy, it's very nice to do, and it's one of the features that I like most about the BeeGraphy platform. All right, so let's just dive in. Okay, so as I said, let's talk about how to download, export, and share models that we have created with the BeeGraphy editor. So I'm going to go back to the Berlin Memorial Life model that I did in the previous video. You can see that I have here my model, I have my boxes, so I'm very happy with this result and I'm ready to download it and use it. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, there's several ways you can do that. The first one is setting up an exporter for whatever geometry or whatever output in the entire definition you are interested in downloading. So in this case, the boxes that I have are somewhere here. So these are the boxes that I extruded. No, they're actually these ones here. These are the ones that are capped, right? Whether if I'm applying the material or not, that doesn't, this is only for visualization, but the actual geometry that I'm interested in is here. So you may have noticed that in the editor, we have this exporter, which basically allows me to download files in STEP, STL, OBJ, DXF, or IGES, right? Because these are just simple boxes, I can go, for example, with an STL exporter, all right? And then I'm just going to plug it in here, all right? But now, okay, so what do I do now here? Like, how do I actually download anything? Where is the download button? I don't see it. Well, you don't see it because the way BeeGraphy handles this is that it basically allows you to wrap an entire definition into what they call a published model. All right. This published model basically means taking all these components and all these definitions and all these functions, blah, 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 and wrapping them into a viewer where you have access only to what's important in your definition. In this case, probably the sliders that are generating all the configuration for the model and the downloading of whichever parts are interesting for you, right? So how does that work? I'm going to go all the way here to the left corner and I'm going to click on the configurator on the top right. The configurator is basically a preview of this interactive window that gives you a summary of what's important and hides all the model away, right? You can see that immediately what I have gotten here is a pre-populated set of a bunch of things, right? So what the BeeGraphy editor does is it goes into your definition and it takes anything that could be considered as an input. So sliders, but not only slider, for example, remember the color picker that I was using for the rendering, or remember the equation that I set up for the math. All of this is now provided as an auto-populated UI. And I'm actually gonna wait. Let me move myself to the other side of this. Yeah, let me move myself here. So now you can see that I have a pre-populated. You can also see that all these sliders are grouped by name. So you can see that when I was making my model, I actually was very diligent about taking a bunch of sliders and grouping them by some kind of name, grid parameters, box parameters. So this, as you can see, is not only useful for me, for my mental sanity, it's also really useful to organize inputs, then for the configurator to group them based on interest, right? And you can see that However, they are sorted in whichever way. Fortunately, we can actually edit that. So you can see that if I go here to the edit button, in the input list, I can say, well, remember the color picker for the concrete? This is something that people should not be able to change. All right, so I'm going to just turn it off. Now, I'm going to bring grid parameters first, which I think is the most important. Then I'm going to bring box parameters first, which I think is the second most important, and then wave parameters. Okay, if I apply this, you can see that now things are sorted in a much more useful and rational way, let's put it this way. But you can see that I still have the math expression editor here, which I don't think people should touch. All right, so I'm going to also turn this off. All right, and now people who visit my model are not going to be able to see or tinker with that. But this is fantastic because now I know that I have like, I can change this here. I can add more elements here, right? And then my model is going to adapt to those changes. Beautiful. You can also see that I have a download button. Where is that download button coming from? Well, let me close the configurator. Imagine that I did not have the STL exporter. I'm going to delete this, right? If I did that and I went to the configurator, you can see that now there's no download button. There's no download button because BeeGraphy doesn't know exactly from all the stuff that I have in my parametric model, all these boxes and all these functions. It doesn't know which one is the one that I'm interested in. So that's why being purposeful about telling the editor, hey, I want to export this geometry that is coming out from this. So I'm going to set up an STL exporter here, and I'm going to call this download boxes, for example. All right. And if I go now to the configurator, you can see that in the download button, you can see that I have downloaded this STL file. And if I now open, for example, I'm going to open Rhino. Excuse me. If I now open Rhino and I drag this STL file, you can see that, yes, it opens the file, no problem. And that I have in my file all those boxes that now I can render, I can export, I can 3D print, I can do whatever I want with them. Okay, beautiful. Now, why is this configurator so interesting? Because the configurator is a way of wrapping your definition with this UI that people who don't have knowledge of parametric model, who might get scared by all this spaghetti of components connected to each other, this is a way to wrap this in a very nice, neat way, where I'm giving you the things that I want you to be able to change, and I'm giving you a button to download whatever is important about this definition, right? Everything else for the regular user should not be available, right? So I can demo what that looks like in the demo button, and I can see that now I have the UI the way people will see it. So the wave parameters, I can change a bunch of things here, right? The box parameters, I can make the boxes a little larger in this direction, right? And then, are you done? Yes, download the thing. And can you download boxes? Can you download high? Can you download blah, 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 all these options, and then just download the model. All right, fantastic. Why do I have export option? Because actually your definition may have different things that you may want to export. In the pearl necklace, for example, we may want to export the spheres, but we may also want to export the curve independently, right? So we may actually have different exports and allow the user to choose what is it that they want to export, right? Fantastic. So you can see that in our demo, we can see that our modeling app, and now it's less than an editor, it's more than an app. It looks good, it feels good, it has just what we want, everything is properly labeled, everything has names about what it is. So my OCD is very happy right now with this, right? Now the question is, how can we then make this accessible to the entire world, not just people with a BeeGraphy account or with the knowledge of BeeGraphy, etc. So the way we do that is by publishing those models to the market. What does that mean? So this is the Berlin Memorial Live. I have already configured it. I have already cleaned it. I have already the configurator and the demo ready to go. So what I can do now is I can publish this model. By publishing this model, I can say, for example, let's give it a name, Berlin Holocaust Memorial. And this is going to be parametric camp demo, for example, and I'm going to say quick demo of the BeeGraphy editor plus market recorded live on parametric camp. Okay, so category, I don't know, architecture. We can do architecture. And another one, gaming, industrial design. Yeah, why not? All right, beautiful. Tags, we're going to leave it as it is. Free is going to be licensed, etc. It's going to be production ready, intended material. So that's for fabrication. We're not going to, well, and we're going to publish this. All right. So, chosen non-commercial requires attribution, for example. So I'm going to publish this. All right. And then you can see that I think I published this somewhere. And this one now, yep. So you can see that now the model is here. And if I actually go to BeeGraphy, BeeGraphy.com, all right, I'm going to go to the market. And in the market, you can see that I have all the models that I can browse. And I'm actually going to click on See All, and I'm going to filter non-moderated models, which is the one that I just created. You can see that the Berlin Holocaust Memorial showed up here. And if I click on it, and you can see that I have the editor, I have the boxes, and I have all the parameters, just like they looked in the configurator once I clean it up. I can go full screen, and then you can see that I can customize everything. I can change things around, and I can download the model. All right. I can download the model, and the model is downloading right now, I think. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. So this is this part. Let me go back to my corner. Yeah. So this is the part that I really like and that I think has the most potential of the entire BeeGraphy project. I think the editor is great, but I think the fact that you can so easily, with a bunch of clicks, make this accessible, downloadable to the entire community, even for non-experts, I think that's where this really, really has potential. So imagine how now all these models can be downloaded for people who want to 3D print things, they can adjust the dimensions of things, etc., etc. I think it's a very nice possibility. Okay, beautiful. I think this is what I wanted to cover with this video, how to take a model in the editor and how to make it accessible, downloadable, and customizable to anyone, right? With this, I think I'm feeling pretty good about this mini crash course on the BeeGraphy platform. If in the future I think of recording more videos, I may just add them to this playlist. Why not? But in the meantime, I strongly invite you to check out the BeeGraphy platform, to play with it, to join their competition, which is going on right now as we speak, as of July 2024. And if you want to share what you made with BeeGraphy, please, by all means, join our Discord. You can find a link on the description of this video, and just go to any of our channels and like share the work that you've done and show us how cool the things are that you can make with BeeGraphy. Okay, beautiful. With that, I'm feeling very good about these videos. Thank you very much. And if you liked this video, or if you liked this series, make sure to perhaps like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, say hi on the comments, etc., etc. All right. Thank you very much, and see you on the next videos. Bye bye.